Hey, hello everyone. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well and you are staying safe and enjoying the beautiful weather, I would say, outside. Yeah, awesome. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm so glad you're here today. Happy new month. Um, I'm so excited for. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I'm so excited for the new month, definitely. Yes, and to all the parents out there, good job and a good on the end of a successful school year. And yeah, I'm just so excited that it is summer and the weather looks good. It looks beautiful out there. So yeah, let me know in the chat how you are doing and yeah, let me just know in the chat how you're doing. So today, what I do have here for you, we're just gonna be looking at our summer guidebook for parent. I know last week when I was here, I had made mention that I'll be posting this workbook. Yeah, absolutely, the workbook is ready, and so today I'm just gonna be, talking about some of the tips that I have in here. And so it's a free download. You can download it after the show tonight. I am going to put it on our social media handle on Facebook, on Instagram, so you can go there and then you can download this. Yeah, so summer guidebook for parents. Yeah, so this is a 17-page workbook and it's printable. And so the first thing that I have here for this workbook is pleasurable activities. Yeah. Let me know if you can see this. So pleasurable activities, right? So the first thing that I want you to do as a parent or to engage your children, your teen, it's to for this workbook, the first thing to do when you look at the workbook, what it has for pleasurable activities, if you can remember that, I think I'm not sure which of the week I had talked about pleasurable or distracting lists, right? I had made mention that sit with your team, come up with an agenda of what are some of the things that they can do. And so on this worksheet, what this worksheet has here, it has activities for you to do as a parent, and not just you as a parent. You can also do this with your teens, with your children. And so on the worksheet here, the worksheet, it asks you to write down pleasurable activities that you can do during the summer. I know a lot of times for parents, this summer could be very challenging because keep in mind that while the kids were at school, they had like the structured activities that they can do. They had the structured, things that they can do in school and all those things. And now it is up to you now as a parent to make sure that at least you can keep them busy, because I know you don't want them to be on their screen, all day for about 2 months. I know that could be sometimes very challenging for parents, thinking of how to keep their children or keep their teens or even you as a young adult, how to keep yourself busy. And so with this worksheet, what you do is that you sit down with your child, you sit down with your children, and you sit down and you write what are some pleasurable activities that you can do this summer for your children. Allow them come up with a list. You can, like put out some suggestions as well out there, but allow them come up with a list of some things they can do. But explain to them that it has to be realistic. It has to be something that is simple, something that is smart, so something that is simple, measurable, attainable, something that is reliable, time bound, something that it's realistic for your own family, something that you, both of you, or as a family, you can actually achieve. So make it realistic. So let them come up with things that they want to do, places that they want to go, and then you guys can just write it down on that plain worksheet. And there's also a column for you as a parent. What are some of all those things still you've been putting away from doing? All those things you've told yourself as a parent, I'll do them someday, I'm going to do them someday. You could come up with one or two things that you would like to complete. And so an example could be, you, for a parent, you would want to complete reading a book, or learning something new. So this is also an opportunity for you as well, too, as a parent, to do that. And so the second thing is having clear expectations. Clear expectations. Keep in mind that during the summer, that there's going to be so many things that your kids could do that can push your boundaries. They will want to test those boundaries. They will want to see some of the things that they can get away with. They're just being kids. They're just being children, right? So in order for you to make this work for you during the summer, make sure you have clear expectations of what you expect from your kids, what you expect from your children. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure you have few ground rules, maybe 3 to 5 ground rules of what is expected from them. Make it fair, something that applies to everyone at home, right? And so, for example, if you're saying no screen time during dinner, or we put our phones, our iPads away during dinner, you want to make sure that that is also applicable to everyone. That means including you as a parent as well too. So when you're having dinner, everybody puts their phone away. That would be an example of making sure it is fair to everyone. And make sure as well too, it is easy to follow. It is age appropriate. Age appropriate. Consider the ages of your children, and make sure that those expectations, those ground rules, are age appropriate. And then you want to make sure you want to back it up with a praise. And so, for example, if you're asking your child to put away the toy and they put away the toy, you want to back that up with a praise. Thank you for doing as mom has asked you to do. That is a praise, right? And so the praise is very descriptive. Thank you for putting away your toy just as mom has asked you to put away that toy. That's a very descriptive praise. And then you also want to make sure that you have a logic consequences attached to it as well too. So when you come up with those ground rules, if those ground rules are not followed, if your kids are not following those ground rules, what will be the logic consequences? Whatever those consequences are, you want to make sure that those consequences are age appropriate. And then be clear to state what you want from them, not rather than what you want them not to do. So an example would be, use nice words to your sister. You're not saying, when you speak to your sister, I want you to speak with nice words. You're not saying do not. You want to state what you want, what you expect from them. So I'm going to go over that again. Make sure the rules the rules are few, not hundreds, not 200, between 3 to 5. And you want to make sure it is fair, it applies to everyone. You want to make sure it's easy to follow, age appropriate. You want to make sure that you can back it up with a praise or a logic consequences if those rules are not followed or those rules are not met. And you want to be clear to state what you want from them rather than what you do not want them to do, right? So that is that aspect for clear expectations. And then the last And then, yeah, that is the worksheet. The worksheet has a space where you can come up with what the ground rules would be and what the logic consequences would be. You sit with your children. Sorry about that. So you sit with your kids at home and then you come up with this list because it is doable when you come up with this list together so that they know what the rules are and then they know what the logic consequences are when those rules are not followed, right? And so the last one on this list, it's the mindfulness activities. I'm not sure you can see this. Can you see this? Yeah. Okay. The mindfulness activities. And so this one has to do it. In order for you as a parent to make sure that the summer goes smooth for yourself and also for your children, for your teens, you want to make sure you also have activities that would ground them, activities that would settle them in, activities that will bring them into the moment. Because when you do that, it's also a way in which it's also a way in which you know, you can help even your kids, in terms of managing their emotions, in terms of emotional regulation, in terms of managing overwhelmed situations and overwhelmed or stressful emotions. And so that is why mindful activity is very necessary. And so in this workbook as well, you have some easy mindfulness activities that you can engage your child, you can engage your teen. You can also do it as a family together, do it like something fun where everybody, does it together. Remember, we've talked about a lot of mindfulness activities here on this platform. An easy one is mindfulness activities that we do with our five senses. What are five things you can see? What are maybe four things you can hear? What are three things you can smell? What is two things you can touch? And what is one thing that you can taste? So all those are just easy grounding mindfulness activities you can do. You can also switch it up, by asking, your kids, what are five blue colors you can see around the environment? What are four yellow colors you can see? What are two, no, what are three, brown colors? You could say two red colors and you could say one black color. And that way, what you're doing is that you're engaging the brain, you're engaging the mind, you're engaging everything about them into the activity. What happens is that if they were stressed, having overwhelming emotions, and not able to control what's happening around them, what you're doing is that you're actually distracting them, pulling them away from that situation and bringing them into a space where they can focus on something else and not thinking about that overwhelming situation. But at the same time, even though they decide to go back to that, they would have been in a better space where they can actually respond appropriately to that situation. And so, yeah, so you have some things you can do, daily mindfulness activities that you can do, making sure that you're getting good sleep, at least maybe 5 minutes of meditations, go for a walk when you can go, the gratitude letter to say thank you, eating mindfully, not eating in a haste, but eating mindfulness. You eating mindfully. You remember Oribim was here, and she had talked about the importance of mindful eating. Making sure you're eating slowly, because when you eat slowly, what happens is that you're able to eat slowly. You're not eating so much. You're just eating appropriately, and then make sure that you're drinking a lot of water, right? And then in also this one, there's also a beautiful game. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, it's a beautiful game in which you can engage your children in. Everybody roll a dice depending on which number comes in. They could move their body to the right, to the side. You could squeeze your right and you could touch, you can move. There's so many things that you can do with this workbook as well too. Yeah. And then I also added this daily planner as well too for parents, where you can come up with a list after you've done the list together with your children. You've come up with realistic, things you want to do this summer. You could write those things down, each week what you want to do, and then go from there. And yeah, so that is it. And then you have just this extra space just for extra notes and all that one. And then if you're wanting, one-on-one section, if you're needing something extra, you can always scan an barcode there and schedule maybe an appointment or maybe a free consult that, yeah, we could connect and see how I can help you or anything. But book, it's this PDF, it's gonna be free. It's gonna be posted on all our social handles. And so, yeah, after now, you just go down and download it and make it suited for you and your family. You know what your family needs. You could work with this, and there are also some other free resources as well too on our website that you can also download as well and make do. And so that is all I have, and I do wish you all a good summer. Take time as parent to enjoy the summer, to engage your teen, and make sure you are resting as a parent as well, right? So take care of yourself. I know it can be very challenging taking care of your kids and that, but please do put yourself as a priority to take care of yourself, especially during the summer, so that you can recharge. Your kids can also recharge as they prepare ahead for the next school year. So from me to you, Abidi, good evening. Watch out for our space. There are a lot of information that will be coming across to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I do apologize to all our viewers on Instagram that we were not able to stream live there. But definitely, I'm going to be posting this video on Instagram as well too. So have a beautiful evening. It's beautiful. Take advantage of this weather. Do not hold back. Have fun with your kids. Have fun with yourself, with your friends, with your family. And I'll see you next week here, 7 p.m. Central Time. Bye bye.